Cynthia.
I'm Ellie.
And we're Ace!
So why are we doing this project? Ellie!
Well, I mean, like, you know, YouTube just has been such a big part of, like, all of our, like, lives, especially, like, pre-pubescent to pubescent, like, middle school, high school. Like, YouTube was definitely a big influence. And for, like, me personally, like, one of the people we're going to talk about later, Ryan Higa, was, like the Asian American YouTuber at the time. So, you know, it's definitely a relevant topic.
We see more Asian Americans moving towards YouTube, and then some of them becoming really successful.
Mm-hmm.
Like the people we talk about.
Yep. And another example that we won't be talking about, Michelle Phan.
Yes.
She's recently made a comeback too, so that's pretty cool.
We stand.
After she did her other things.
Oh yeah, I don't know where she went.
She has like it's either makeup or skincare or maybe both.
I'm not surprised.
Line, and then I think she's done other things too, but
Ooh, that's nice.
Yeah. Go her.
Nice.
Now she makes still really cool videos on YouTube. Her editing is amazing. Today we're going to be talking about Asian American YouTubers. This is going to be the first installment in the series. So today we're talking about specifically the Fung Bros. Don't know if you've heard of them, but they're two brothers named David and Andrew, and they're Chinese American, and they make videos together on YouTube, obviously. They have an older sister named Tracy, and she's not in their videos, but they live in LA, but they grew up in Tacoma, Washington.
Ooh,
so PMW, and they both graduated from the University of Washington.
Oh wow!
Go Huskies!
So despite getting famous through YouTube, once moving to LA, they started in the entertainment industry while they were still like in college. They did a lot of music, like rapping, and they were very involved in like their university's shows, like with music and like with breakdancing.
Student athlete.
They started this podcast earlier this year, and they discuss like certain relevant issues concerning Asian and Asian American communities. So one of the ones that we're gonna watch and react to today is the first episode that they did. Let's start.
What's going on, guys? Welcome to the very first episode of the Hot Pot Boys podcast, where we are going to be discussing serious things, not serious things, but today it's more serious.
So today we're going to be covering and talking about and introducing the most important issues that are bothering Asian America to this day.
To this day.
Got a whole list
10
full
issues.
Yes.
for y'all, man.
Yes.
The reason that we're doing this is because, you know, we do keep up, obviously, a lot with the community.
What we are doing today is not necessarily coming up with solutions, but what we want to do is just introduce them to people. So, guys, we have a list of 10 of the biggest issues in Asian America right now. Number one,
What's the Asian America?
the disparity between how Asian men are perceived and Asian women are perceived, especially in mainstream media. Socioeconomic success doesn't yet mean social or sexual acceptance for Asian American men. The way Asian men are perceived versus Asian women, obviously Asian women totally bear the brunt of a lot of negative stereotypes themselves. But basically how I would sum it up is that Asian women get a lot of attention, some good and some bad attention, and Asian men get like almost no attention. No attention or like kind of bad attention.
Yeah, right.
Social metric, not
Yes.
the professional metric, because those are kind of separate.
I mean, Asian male have this like, you know, stereotype
Who's that?
where you know they're not cool in a sense, or not. I wouldn't say not masculine or whatnot.
No,
Compared to
Oh.
You're born in Macau.
No,
okay, you're
better
born in
luck
Asia. You grew up
tomorrow.
around the 626 area. but you know this to be true. Because usually people move to the Asian area so that they can feel, so they don't have to feel this.
Before I moved to the Six, my early years, I lived in, Lincoln Heights. I got picked on as a kid because I was maybe like one or if not two only Asians in the whole class. After that, it just like made me realize that you got to be strong-minded and not care about that. You just got to worry about yourself and strive to be the best you can be without people looking down on you.
I always compare it to being like a currency exchange machine. So you know how you go to some countries and, it depends on whether the dollar is strong versus, the local currency there. If you feel like...
We're gonna discuss.
Just like, you just have to be strong-minded. Like, you just have to be like, you just have to push through the racism. Like,
yeah. Okay. Like, it's almost too much to unpack. It's like, okay, you're a man. You're straight, I assume, probably. You are light-skinned, like, East Asian, like... Get over yourself. Ugh. Yeah, like we're only like 2 minutes in and they're already like so like East Asia centric. It's like, we get it. We're oppressed. Shut up.
Yeah. I'm only here for the food.
True.
Not getting a good exchange rate or a fair one, it's still not an excuse to stop pumping dollars into the machine. Just because you feel like you're putting in $1, getting 0.85, another person puts in $1, gets 1.6 back. That is discouraging, but you cannot let it stop you from pumping dollars in and accumulating more dollars.
Next point, the corporate bamboo ceiling. What? Asians are 12% of the professional workforce, while making up only 5.6% of the U.S. population. That means, a lot of us have joined the professional workforce. We're well represented in that. However, for example, at Goldman Sachs, they reported that 27% of its U.S. professional workforce is Asian American, but only 11% of its U.S. executives and senior managers were Asian American. We're basically well represented in the professional workforce as yappies, but we are not upper management or executives. We don't get promoted.
Like yappies are just like, I think,
really hard. A majority of them lack leadership. Based off my history, man, my company, I'm not gonna say, but there's not many Asians on the upper level tier.
So basically what you're saying is that you understand that there might be a gap, that Asians might lack some conventional American leadership skills?
Yeah.
Okay.
Anytime you see 27% shrink to 11%, it's probably multiple factors, right? One is the internal factor. We need more leadership coaching internally within our community and the way we're raised. Obviously, in immigrant communities, they don't speak English. Typically just tell you to put your head down, do the work like a scientist. On the other hand, then there's the perception that nobody wants to be led by an Asian. Basically, that could be some sort of prejudice or stereotype that's placed.
Stereotype!
That's like being a short player in the NBA, and then the coaches already don't like short players. I mean, you're already not going to get looks. And then on top of that, being short is a legit disadvantage.
They said F short people rights.
Yeah.
Okay, so let me just say that there are different
tall
perspectives
people
on
rights
this.
now.
Tall girl.
I think kind of what we're saying is that there is some basis to not move Asians up because we come from an immigrant mindset, or maybe English isn't our first language.
We're stuck in the researcher
When
mindset.
they say Asian American, they are also including just Asians in America that are not necessarily American born.
Yeah.
Right?
Again,
now,
the pictures of East
a lot of people are
Asian.
going to be like, okay, that's not fair. We're just as good of leaders as anybody else. What do you guys think about that? Like, we're kind of accepting some responsibility. It's, first of all, not all of our fault, but should we accept some responsibility for this?
I mean, what can you do? I mean, you can complain about the system, and we should. How else is the Matrix going to be aware that we're unhappy? But at the end of the day, you think the Matrix really cares? All you can almost do is control what you can while being aware.
The second video is actually them reacting to criticism that they get in the comments from this video.
Okay, all right.
That's like
yeah,
good content.
Yeah.
Interesting.
So I think that might be a little bit more entertaining.
Oh, for sure.
We
than
love a
this
good
one.
roast.
Just
We
wanted
do,
to
we do.
preface that with this, because otherwise you might not, or we might not.
If you don't agree with their perspective, check your incentive.
Do you think you did something?
Huh? Yeah, what? Did he do something?
Welcome
no,
to another
he's bald.
episode of the Hot Pod Boys, aka the Hot Pod Boys podcast. Today we are responding to people's comments on a serious piece that we did. That, guess what? Went a little viral.
Hey David, how many comments does it have?
1,800.
Almost 2,000 comments.
Yeah,
that's
they're
when you
probably
know.
all bad.
Yeah.
Yes, there's whole book epilogues being written.
Oh, that's huge.
Oh my god, okay,
Oh,
who has the time?
We are going to be responding to the top comments of the 10 biggest issues with Asian Americans video that we just put out a couple weeks ago. The number one main idea that people try to get at us about. They were criticizing us about complaining about the 10 issues. Because not everybody even wants to acknowledge or talk about the issues.
Well, that's a very Asian way of thinking, right? Because I don't think you would see necessarily, I guess, maybe other minority communities say, oh, don't talk about it, don't talk about it. Yeah, that's just very Asian.
They don't like to talk about issues. They don't like to, deal with confrontations. And I just feel like you can't brush it. You can't brush it under
How are
the
you gonna
rug.
use
You
a
just gotta-
WikiHow graphic in your fucking
Take care of
video,
it.
dude?
I'll tell you this, putting it out there doesn't make it any more real than it already was. It was already real.
Some people think by acknowledging it and even putting out this video, we're putting out the dirty laundry. This is not dirty laundry, guys. This is already out there.
And even if we putting out the dirty laundry, the laundry's still dirty.
One of the most popular kind of ideas
I love
people have said
analysis.
was, you guys wouldn't complain like this if you had supermodel looks. I get what you're trying to say. You're trying to say that if we were all really good looking, we would be able to transcend these issues of being Asian, and we would be...
Well, specifically the issues that affect Asian males disproportionately.
Right, like basically one of the issues was, okay, we're saying socially Asian men, economically we're very successful, but socially we're not, and we're constantly perceived and portrayed in a negative light. But of course, if we were good-looking individuals, we wouldn't have any problems.
I just got cut in here as an Asian man, but some of these stereotypes. See, but the fact that there's even laughter now.
The answer is that is not true.
Absolutely not true.
Of course, there are different levels of good-lookingness that sort of change your life, and once you hit supermodel tier, your life changes. But that doesn't mean that your problems don't change.
Exactly.
If you make it in the NBA, you can go to any other gym in America and probably drop 30 to 70 points. That does not mean that in the NBA you're good. It just means you're playing a completely different tier of that game.
Now it's just like if you are a supermodel looking Asian dude, right? You're tall, great,
You're
chiseled.
comparing yourself to other supermodels that are not Asian.
No, you can't compare yourself to just regular people. Listen, it's the same problem.
Regular people?
And you know what?
Are we not regular people?
Thank you.
Playing basketball with Godfrey Gao like last week.
It all depends like what you're comparing them to. Like just like we talked about, you comparing it to a lower class person or like a higher class person.
What we're trying to say is that it's the same issue, just at a different level. I know what they're trying to say. I get it.
But you're wrong.
It's just wrong.
The issue is still there.
You're doing a show that says America.
Similar to point number
like,
one,
they're
but
just
this was
making
also
this
a
so
popular
complicated. Like they could have said that in like 2
was,
sentences.
well, you guys wouldn't be here complaining and saying all this if you were a multi-millionaire with passive income streams.
Bruh.
That's true.
I know some incredibly wealthy young Asian guys, but they would not disagree with you at all. They'd be like, yeah, I know what you mean.
See, this is what I don't understand.
Rich
about this
Asians
comment. Asian guys,
suck, dude.
on average, have a lot of money.
Or
But how
POC
come they
with
have
money
these
is a
problems?
different
already
person.
The
Yeah.
that point
When
doesn't
people
work out.
start making money, they are
Statistically, on
different.
average, educated Asian guys. I also think it
Also,
depends on his expectations.
Just
'cause
saying that
it kind of depends on what
people
life
will always
you wanna
side
live.
with
Everybody
other
should go
like
back to
rich
Asia
people will
in a
always
way,
side with other
and you'll
rich
get something
people.
different. It'll be
Like
different.
they will not like rich POC are class traders because they will always take their class over their race.
Ooh. Ooh, that,
Just so y'all know, man.
that hit really hard. Especially when, I mean, it doesn't
That shit hurted.
It doesn't apply to Ellen because Ellen's white, but you know that shit, like, rich people always have rich people. Ellen DeGeneres, she like sided with that one.
Yeah. Like Ellen's like, oh, I'm friends with George Bush. It's like, yeah, because you're rich.
Yeah.
And not because you're affected, and because you're rich enough to not be affected by his like anti-LGBT like policies. Like you are literally rich enough to transcend homophobia. That shit hurted.
Two closest
Oh, you
things
said
that I don't
K-pop!
count because they're made up of kids
Oh my god!
and
Stop comparing K-pop to things.
females.
And K-pop, the Asian American entertainment scene, sort of It's a small world. Oh, we
Isn't
had a,
K-pop just
Hispanic
Asian, though?
friend,
Yeah, it's not
Hispanic
even
fan
Asian
say,
American. What?
Hey guys, man, it's really good that you guys are making this video. I didn't know about these issues. I have some Asian friends. I respect them. But it's interesting to hear these issues.
There was a lot of comments from Black and Latinos being like, "Hey, I never heard Asians talk about their problems as minorities before."
Did he really?
I didn't anticipate that any Black.
Did he say Latinos?
Man, I thought it was just all boba and smiles for you guys.
We thought you had it easy.
Yeah, but it's interesting to see like Blacks and Latinos be like,
kind of do.
"Hey, man,
Well, East Asians, yeah,
got,
we kind of
Asians
do.
got problems too, man."
But, oh my
I thought you guys were
fucking
just
gosh,
like
shut the fuck up.
boring white people.
Asians are just like white people.
It's all about your motivation in life and your
East
goals.
Asians, though?
And that will determine how big of issues these are to your life.
I said, we stand
So, like,
solidarity
let's
with
say
our
if your only
colonized
goal is to provide
cousins.
for a family because you come from parents are, immigrants and work very hard, and your only sole goal is to provide a better life for your family and yourself, then these issues, you're not going to want to dwell on them as much.
There is some truth to that comment.
It has to do with the Maslow's hierarchy of needs.
The fuck?
If you have yet to secure the first or second level on Maslow's hierarchy of needs, there's no way to
Maslow?
move towards the third or the fourth
Oh,
level.
wait, I've
or at
seen
least
this before.
addressing the 10 issues that we brought up is really only fit for people at the third or fourth or fifth
has
level of
its issues,
self-actualization,
though, too. It's
and people are stuck on
Maslow's-
level 1 or level 2, then theoretically they
Yeah, you know
have
they
to
got it. They
attend
got.
to their
They
base
have an
level
education.
needs
If they're talking about
before
this.
they can
Yeah.
continue to the macro situation.
Yappies in the workforce, some of them left a comment. Essentially, they said, hey guys, I work in corporate America and I see Asians be very meek and shy and introverted in the workforce.
These are yappy comments.
Yappy comments of guys who are maybe, and they're saying, listen guys, I see it firsthand that Asians, we don't speak up enough. We don't ask for raises. We're not assertive enough in the workforce. I see it because I work in a corporate structure. And a corporate structure supposedly says that if you do the right things, you can climb up.
Next topic.
How should Asians take...
So,
Sorry.
this is one of their vids with Andrew Yang. It's from a year ago.
We're all putting our heads in.
Yeah, it's from a year ago, November 26, 2018. How Andrew Yang will save America.
Are you kidding me?
Yeah. And I'd like to point out that I'll put this on the screen for you.
Right here on Cynthia's
This
face.
is not in the description. It says this is not an endorsement for his campaign.
Huh?
We want to give an Asian American a platform to speak. Plus, he's the only presidential candidate that we know. So they're literally just siding with him because, like,
He's Asian?
yeah.
Yo, what's going on, everybody? Welcome to a special presidential
that's kinda
episode
cool how
of
they
Fung
did
Bros
the
Food.
pattern.
We are here today having some Taiwanese night market
figure it
snacks with none other than 2020 presidential candidate Andrew Yang, everybody.
Hey, thanks. Great to be here. I love Taiwanese food. I love night markets. Let's do it.
You are running for the president of the United States in 2020.
Yes, I am declared. Raised
Yes,
hundreds of
I
thousands
am.
of dollars, and it's all official.
Our next guest is a 2020 Democrat candidate for the presidency. Andrew Yang is with us.
Since the last time we saw you in New York, a lot has happened. Let's talk about it.
Taiwanese snacks.
Let's go.
And by the way, this is not a political endorsement of any kind. Andrew is just an extremely interesting person with a lot to say, and he's running for president.
Shut the
We are
hell up.
looking at a pretty amazing Taiwanese snack spread right now.
I see lots of raised eggs.
What happens when the nostalgia for the old economics manifests itself in more of a nostalgia for the old racial diversity?
America's heading towards being majority minority in 2045. So that's 27 years from now. What you would expect to happen is for the shrinking white majority to become more and more nostalgic for the past and feel culturally threatened and insecure. And then you add into that the fact that their economic insecurity is going up and up because we're getting rid of the truck driving jobs, the retail jobs, the manufacturing jobs. And so that's going to manifest itself as a lot of racial hostility. And then if you think, what would you expect to happen in the beginning, in like the third inning of that? You'd expect maybe Donald Trump, maybe a rise of racism, maybe like outbreaks.
Maybe a rise of
happening.
racism.
All of this
like
stuff
it hasn't.
is unfortunately
like it hasn't
consistent with a
been
narrative of this country disintegrating over the next 30 years as it becomes more diverse.
Dude, you just painted a super bleak picture of the future.
And then you have this liberal narrative which puts everything under the umbrella of racism. It's like if things are going badly, then it's racism. And then if you're a poor white, you're looking up being like, how the heck am I racist? Like, I'm just like trying to put food on the table.
Maybe I grew up in a town where literally just geographically there are no
those are the same white people who voted
looking
for
at it
Trump
like, how could I be
because they thought he would
racist
help
when I
them.
didn't even meet a minority?
That if someone can't pay their bills, that mindset of scarcity reduces their functional IQ by 13 points, which is 1 standard deviation. So that's like if you put someone in a position where it's like they're living week to week or paycheck to paycheck, and then you ask them to care about something like climate change,
they're not really gonna have the comfort. They're not high enough on the Maslow's hierarchy of needs to bring themselves to care.
And what we have to do is we have to try and reverse that mindset of scarcity by putting some more money in their hands.
I find it embarrassing.
Middle class Asian male. Why would I care about truck drivers in Iowa? They don't care about me.
But I'm actually going to reverse it a little bit and say, how would it feel for a young urban Asian American man to have an Asian guy in the White House? Because right now, if you're an Asian American guy, there's a sneaking feeling you have that you're allowed to become this successful in America, but you're not allowed to become this successful.
Bamboo ceiling.
Yeah.
Well, like robots can't be leaders. They can be successful workers.
I've been with the people who are like supposed to be running the country, and I've got news, like we are as good or better than any of them.
Asians do probably have some self-belief that even if the rest of America was burning around them, that they would be okay.
We are bred to think like no one's gonna help us. We're self-sufficient. There's gonna come a point when that stuff's gonna stop working out for us, because we do better in a stable society where there are opportunities and hard work gets rewarded. And you're starting to see the beginning of a world where hard work's not going to matter as much. The rules are going to get written by people in power, and like you can tell, like all norms go out the window. Because if you're a young person in this country and you feel like you're getting shafted and you just want to get disengaged from the system, you have been shafted. And so because you're getting, you're just like, hey, I don't want to care, and I want to undo that. I want to you. And so if you want to help me,
he wants to un me.
Then like vote me into office. So that's not a reason to care.
Because you're already fucked. I'm scared. I'm scared. Mom, I'm scared.
Come pick me up. I don't.
All right, Andrew. So we had boba.
Yeah, I don't want to get fucked by him.
Well, let's go ahead.
Yeah.
There's one state in the United States currently that has UBI. It's Alaska, right?
Yes.
Oh.
Now, Alaska is a very red state. Is it a Democratic thing? Is it a Republican thing?
As one of my friends said, it's not left or right, it's forward. In Alaska, they've had this oil dividend for 36 years and everyone loves it and they're really Republican. But a lot of people who are Democrats like the idea of putting money into people's hands too. So it's really not from either side. Someone said to me that this is like the shuffler, where everyone can get behind it.
Let's put our own background music.
Bank shot.
It's really loud.
Oh.
Wow, you suck.
Oh,
you
my
all
goodness.
suck.
What do you think about Kanye West?
You know, I think Kanye West has lost his way, honestly. I kind of like the independence and contrarian spirit he's got. But come on, man. I mean, you know, like, this is not good for anybody. And his music's not as good either. And maybe that's the biggest
Really,
problem.
Kanye was better.
Sorry, Kanye. You gotta tell like it is.
I miss the old
Kanye. Say, what are your overall reactions to
I don't like
their
them.
videos? Yeah, I think they should just stick to reviewing food.
Yeah. They're just, it's just like classic like East Asian men. They're like, oh, like we're seen as like asexual and our peepees are small. And I'm like, okay, can we think a little more big picture, please? Like, we're not the only Asians. You know, like just the fact that they're like completely disregarding like an entire subcontinent of like Southeast and like South Asians. It's like, when will you learn that your actions have consequences? Yeah, I don't know. It's just, yeah, like so everything they were saying was just like such a like superficial understanding of like race and like how it works.
Very surface level.
Yeah, like very
narrow
surface level
too.
Yeah.
Depending on who their audience is, especially like the people commenting, oh, I've never thought about this. What if those are young people?
Yeah.
So now they're gonna think like this forever.
Yeah, like this is it.
This is all they have.
Yeah. It's like so much of it was just like model minority. It's like, okay, but have you ever like thought about other people for once? You know, like
Model minority and stereotypes.
Stereotypes. He's like, okay, women are, they're portrayed bad, but men, what about us?
What about men? And I'm like, okay.
Men get no representation at all. And when they do, it's bad.
What about their video with Andrew Yang?
I mean, like, he has, like, the idea of UBI is really good, but, like, the way he's framing it is just so annoying. Like, you can tell that they all come from, like, very privileged backgrounds, and they're all like, and it's like, shut up, you know? It's like, I don't know. I just feel like, in general, like, East Asian men, or, like, POC men in general, probably, but, like, East Asian men specifically are just so, like, fucking self-centered. And they're like, oh, like, our problems suck. And even black people say, like, we have problems, so that means our problems are really bad. And it's like, well, they're not, you know? Like, if like, the main issue that they talked about was media representation, like, if that really is, like, the biggest issue for, like, East Asians, like, that's not a big issue, you know? Like, it sucks, obviously, but, like, there are, like, Southeast and South Asians that are literally, like, racially profiled for, like, being terrorists just because they're brown, and they're like,
oh, but like Crazy Rich Asians is like the first movie.
I'm like, shut up! I don't care!
And I kept saying that, oh, money doesn't fix everything, but you can tell that they come from money.
Money doesn't fix everything, but here's like
a lot of things.
Yeah. I mean, like, yeah. But speaking of media representation, they make another video. I haven't really watched this video, but they talk about the first Asian superhero from Marvel, and I think I talked to you about this, maybe.
I feel like I've definitely heard about it.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah. So, again, like, they're still focusing on, like, media representation and of Asian American men. Yeah.
Yeah, it's just, like, so narrow, too. Like, even with, like, media representation, it's like, okay, where are, like, the queer East Asians and, like, the trans East Asians?
So, bottom line, we're saying stick to your food.
Stick to your food videos. Yeah. Stop talking.
The food is the only thing that matters. The
only part of the video that I liked with Andrew Yang was when they were eating.
Yeah, you see all those shots.
Oh my god.
All those shots of the food were like the quality ones.
Yeah.
Also,
and they didn't even talk about how good it was.
Yes.
Right?
Oh, just do a separate video for Andrew Yang. I don't care. Eat the Taiwanese snacks somewhere else so that I can just watch you do that.
Yeah.
Disappointed, but not surprised.
Yeah.
Can we watch your cameo?
Yeah.
Aaliyah had a collab with them.
I collabed with them.
It's the only video we stan.
Food carts. So they're kind of like food trucks, but they don't drive anywhere. Our first stop on the Portland food crawl was Brunch Box, and what I've got in front of me right now is a grilled cheese Thai bacon sandwich.
Wow. Oh, snap.
The buns are grilled cheese sandwiches.
Wow. I've never had Thai flavor in a burger before. This is the outlaw. Damn, look at that.
The outlaw is good, but it's more of a conventional flavor.
That's when you hit them with the...
I've got some brew house fries.
Already, okay. The brew house fries, this is special because it has garlic, Parmesan, and vinegar all on it. You just spray the vinegar like spraying it like Windex.
I've never seen that before. So we just finished up here at Brunch Box. Definitely check this out if you come to Portland, but we got to keep it moving. We're off to a good start.
Okay, so that's all we have for this episode.
Segment 1.
So yeah, thanks for watching. Let us know what you think in the comments down below.
What do you think?
Yeah, what do you think
Like
about all the videos that we've watched?
Ding, ding.
Do you agree with what we've said? Do you disagree? Yes.
Both?
Yeah. True. To what extent do you do that?
We're on the spectrum.
Tune in next time.
See you next
Subscribe if you
time.
want to see more videos like this.
Turn on notifications. Click the little bell.
Bye.
Bye.